this right. This is heavyweight. Oh, shucks.
Actually, I gotta show you these screws too. What happened was they put in 4 screws because the
Colossus, who once bent steel bars and lifted weights that made strong men recoil in terror, now fights silently against gravity just to stand upright. The body that once intimidated mountains now depends on crutches to win the battle against its own weight. The price of greatness is paid in the shadows. This phrase echoes in the silence of a hospital room where Ronnie Coleman, the greatest bodybuilder of all time, faces yet another surgery, the 15th attempt to correct decades of damage to his body. His eyes, still determined, hold the same fire that led him to 8 consecutive Mr. Olympia titles. As doctors prepare the operating room, he whispers his mantra, "Lightweight, baby." But the truth behind this legend is more shocking than anyone could imagine. Ronnie Coleman's story is an unlikely journey that began in the humble streets of Monroe, Louisiana, where nothing indicated that a bodybuilding legend would emerge. Are you enjoying this story, Ronnie Coleman? Then help the channel with your subscription. Look, 94.8% of the people who watch these videos are still not subscribed to the channel. If you are part of that group, take the chance and subscribe now. It's free, and that way you'll keep receiving amazing stories from TV shows we still miss. Oh, and don't forget, at the end of the video, you'll find more stories like this one. Growing up in a modest home with 3 younger siblings under the care of a single mother, Coleman found his first passion in football, a skill that earned him a scholarship to Grambling State University. There, his discipline distinguished him not only on the field, but also in the classroom, graduating with honors in accounting in 1989. His plans never included stages or bodybuilding trophies. Coleman dreamed of offices, spreadsheets, and a stable career as an accountant. However, life had different plans for him. Unable to find work in his field despite his academic achievements, Coleman faced the harsh reality of unemployment. He moved to Texas searching for opportunities, eventually taking a job delivering pizzas for Domino's, often surviving on leftover slices because he couldn't afford proper meals. He slept on a mattress on the floor of a tiny apartment, living on the edge of poverty, his accounting degree hanging on the wall as a bitter reminder of unfulfilled dreams. In 1989, desperate for stability, Coleman found a position with the Arlington, Texas Police Department. What few know is that Coleman actively served as a police officer even during 5 of his 8 reigns as Mr. Olympia, a double life that defies imagination. On competition days, he would trade his badge for body oil. The following day, he was back on the streets patrolling. While other elite athletes rested after brutal training sessions, Coleman faced 12-hour shifts protecting the citizens of Arlington. The shadow of his childhood poverty haunted him daily. Even as a police officer, Coleman could barely pay his bills. It was during this struggle that a fateful encounter occurred. A fellow officer introduced him to Metroflex Gym, a dusty, hardcore training facility far removed from today's polished fitness centers. The gym's owner, Brian Dobson, was immediately struck by Coleman's natural physique and made an offer that would change bodybuilding history: free training in exchange for participation in a local competition. What Dobson couldn't have known was that he was cultivating the greatest phenomenon the sport had ever seen. Coleman's early years in professional bodybuilding were marked by devastating failures that would have broken lesser men. In his first Mr. Olympia appearance in 1992, he didn't even place in the top 15, a humiliating result for someone who had sacrificed so much. Between 1992 and 1997, he never surpassed 9th place, leading many to write him off as just another also-ran. Close friends revealed that Coleman nearly abandoned the sport after placing 3rd in the 1997 Ironman competition, what he called his most painful defeat. In silence, he absorbed criticism that his physique was unbalanced and that he would never be champion material. His insistence on continuing to compete while working full-time as a police officer led even his family to question his mental stability. While competitors like Flex Wheeler received lucrative contracts and media attention, Coleman lived in relative obscurity. He trained in the same dusty gym as always, lifting weights that made other professional bodybuilders back away in fear. There were no cameras documenting his workouts in those days, just the silent determination of a man refusing to surrender to failure. In his locker, he kept his police uniform, hanging next to bottles of supplements and tanning products, a visual representation of his divided life. The definitive turning point came in 1998, after years of unwavering consistency. Coleman's physique finally achieved the perfect balance of mass, proportion, and conditioning that would redefine the standards of the sport. What few people know is that on the eve of that year's Mr. Olympia, Coleman handled a police emergency that kept him awake for 36 consecutive hours before stepping on stage. He managed just 3 hours of sleep before the competition that would change his life forever. His victory shocked the entire bodybuilding world, including himself. There are reports that when announced as the winner, Coleman whispered to his trainer, "This must be a mistake." What followed was the most dominant sequence of victories in the sport's history. For 8 straight years, Coleman crushed all opposition, bringing a level of muscular development that judges described as otherworldly. Behind the scenes, however, Coleman paid a terrible price for this dominance. In 2000, during training for his 3rd Olympia title, he suffered his first serious spinal injury. Doctors recommended immediate surgery and abandoning heavy training altogether. Coleman ignored both recommendations. By 2003, he appeared at Mr. Olympia weighing an astonishing 291 pounds of defined muscle, a sight so intimidating that his competitors, seeing him backstage, knew they were fighting for second place at best. Jay Cutler, his fiercest rival, admitted years later that the moment Coleman removed his shirt backstage, everyone else felt a wave of defeat wash over them. The inevitable physical decline began in 2006, when Coleman finally lost his title. The years of superhuman training, 800-pound squats, 500-pound bench presses for repetitions, deadlifts that bent steel bars, had taken their toll. Today's reality stands in stark contrast to the myth. Coleman depends on crutches or a wheelchair to move around. The same legs that once handled squat weights that would crush ordinary men now struggle to support him standing. After more than 15 surgeries, doctors state he will never walk normally again. The price of his greatness was collected in each damaged vertebra, in every herniated disc, in countless torn muscles and tendons. Despite this grim reality, Coleman remains unbowed. He still trains daily, now with lighter weights, and maintains the same disciplined diet that fueled his championships. Married and the father of 4 daughters, he has transformed his name into a successful supplement brand and inspirational figure. When asked if he regrets the physical toll his career has taken, Coleman's answer reveals the essence of his character. "I regret nothing. Every rep, every title, every injury. I would do it all again." This is perhaps the most surprising truth about the King, the absolute absence of regret in the face of suffering. For Coleman, greatness was never a choice, but an inner necessity. Are you enjoying this story, Ronnie Coleman? Then help the channel with your subscription. Look, 94.8% of the people who watch these videos are still not subscribed to the channel. If you are part of that group, take the chance and subscribe now. It's free, and that way you'll keep receiving amazing stories from TV shows we still miss. Oh, and don't forget, at the end of the video, you'll find more stories like this one. His legacy transcends trophies and records, standing as a testament to human obstinacy, to the refusal to accept limitations imposed by others or circumstances. What remains is the image of a man who defied all odds, who transformed poverty into rain, and who now faces his physical battles with the same determination that took him to the top of his sport. In a world obsessed with shortcuts to success, Ronnie Coleman represents an inconvenient truth. Extraordinary greatness requires extraordinary sacrifice. His journey from the streets of Louisiana to the pinnacle of bodybuilding, and now to his battle for basic mobility, reminds us that behind every legend lies not just glory, but the shadows where the true price of greatness is paid in full.